Hi, everybody. This is Dawn Kuhn, the Mental Health Mom. Hope you're having a great day today. I wanted to jump online. The kids are doing their neurofeedback session. I wanted to jump online for another Candid Convo, Candid Convo number 4, and I'm calling this one Academics versus Real Life. You know, there's an old saying that you have to keep up with the Joneses. And I'm really here today to get real about that saying and to try and dispel this old adage because it really doesn't apply to the mental health world. Yet, I think if we're honest with each other, especially as emotional mamas, we still always have this saying in the back of our mind. You know, we feel the pressure to be like everyone else in our circle of friends or be like everyone else in our neighborhood, and to raise our kids to be like everyone else, to play soccer and football and baseball and all of that kind of stuff. And that is kind of ingrained in us since we're little. Like, I'd love to meet the guy that made up that saying because I kind of would like to pop him. Because really keeping up with the Joneses is not always in our best interest, and it's especially not in our best interest as mental health parents, because we can't parent like everybody else, and we can't raise our kids to be like everybody else because they're not. And that's just a fact. They're just not. There's a period at the end of that sentence. There's no exception to that. Raising children with mental health disorders is completely different than raising kids who don't have mental health disorders. That's just a fact. That's not being biased or anything like that. It's just really a fact. And if you're a mental health parent, I know that you understand. So I want the focus today of our conversation to be on academics because we're starting the new school year. Everybody has started or about to start. And you know, academics is such a huge part of a child's life and such a huge source of pressure and stress for every kid, but especially for our kiddos, especially for those kiddos that have mental health disorders. Now, let me preface what I'm about to say with this huge disclaimer. I am a ginormous, extra huge, extra big believer in academics. I have my bachelor's degree in business. I have my MBA. You know, I got grounded if I got a C in high school. So, you know, I was raised that academics are important. And of course, they are if you want to succeed in life and, you know, often work in your field of choice. Often there is a lot of education that's required. So I'm a big believer in academics and education. Just saying that right off the bat. However, in our world, and I'm talking one mental health mama bear to another, you know, academics isn't the end all be all, and we cannot allow ourselves to get in the keeping up with the Joneses mindset when it comes to our kids. Because if we allow ourselves to go there, it's going to eat us alive, and we're going to put pressure on our kids, and that's going to eat them alive. So we just can't. Now, I homeschool my 2 boys, and our homeschool year starts tomorrow. Prayers are welcome. And, you know, originally I was not led to homeschool. I'll be real honest. My husband and I chose our house and the neighborhood that we did because the school districts are absolutely stellar. They're ranked very high in the state. In fact, our kids' elementary school is ranked 2nd in the state. So these are awesome public schools. And when my kids were in public school, we had support like absolutely nobody's business. From the principal to the counselors to the sweet lady at the front desk to the teachers to the paraprofessionals, every single person that touched my kids' lives was an amazing influence and mentor. And I'm so grateful for that. But we reached a point in our public school career where my kids really just couldn't hang anymore. My youngest son, who is riddled with anxiety, just became too overwhelmed when all the little social cliques started forming and, you know, social pressures really started to become important. That's a huge part of fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. And he was just riddled by the anxiety where he was just so overwhelmed at school. He would come home and just, throw a tantrum and be sad and not feel good. And it was awful. And my oldest son, who we thought was bipolar, who ended up, we found out, being misdiagnosed and wrongfully medicated, if you've been following our story. He's actually having seizures. And the seizures and the medication that we put him on that he didn't need caused some hallucinations. And he was hallucinating nonstop in school. And it got to the point where it was difficult for the teacher to manage. It was very disruptive to the class. And I'm just not, and some people may disagree, but I'm not the parent that's going to say, you know what, my kid's in public school, you figure out what you need to do to deal with his hallucinations. I'm just not that parent. I said, oh my gosh, this is something he can't control, but it's disrupting the other students' learning. So we pulled him. And we pulled him, let's see, this will be our second full year. So we've been homeschooling for about 2.5 years. And again, I wasn't led. It came out of necessity based on what was best for my kids. Now, in the current situation that we're in, finding out my kids have been misdiagnosed and wrongfully medicated, starting our neurofeedback treatment, my youngest son beginning some behavioral processing therapy, we're in a very interesting place academically. Because I've been told by multiple doctors that neither one of my sons are really able to learn very much new information, retain new information, and as a teacher, excuse me, how much tougher can it get than doctors telling you that your kids cannot learn or retain right now? I mean, when I first heard that, I thought to myself, well, gosh, it sure would stink to be their teacher. And then I was like, oh, wait, I am their teacher. So I'm in a very interesting place with my kids academically, which is why I felt compelled to jump on. My one son that has some visual processing issues, and if you've seen any of their videos, I'm not talking about eyesight. He has 20/20 eyesight. I'm talking about processing what he sees in his brain. Has all kinds of difficulties. And he is literally, physically not able to comprehend what he's reading. He can read all day long. Reading's not an issue. He can read a whole book to you, nothing flat. But he can't retain or comprehend what happened in the book. And he has difficulty writing, as a result. I'm tired today. I'm all tongue twisted, so pardon me. But he has very much difficulty writing also. So he's starting middle school. Well, hey, all they do in middle school is read and write. So, how do I handle that? It's a very unique challenge. And, once you're told that your kids really can't learn or retain at this point, it's a tough pill to swallow. But you know what? I've come to the realization that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that our normal has changed. It's okay that right now my kids are having difficulty learning and retaining. It's okay. I don't have to keep up with the Joneses. This year, academically, we are not going to keep up with little Johnny Jones. We're just not. We can't. And that's okay. We may not even finish our the end of the year on grade level. We might not even finish the 6th and 7th grade this year. And you know what? That's okay. It just is okay. It has to be okay. It's our normal. And I have to take the pressure off myself and my kids to try and keep up with the Joneses. I mean, we have to face real life and where our kids are at in this moment. Not where we wished and hoped and dreamed they would be, but where they really are. And having to do that is okay. It's okay to have to embrace that normal that might not look like everybody else's. A doctor told me recently, who treats kids with ADHD and anxiety issues and focus issues and attention issues and all of that stuff, that most parents, when discussing treatment, will come in and say, I want you to treat their focus issues first because they need to be able to sit in school and make good grades. And when the doctor told me that, I'm going to be honest, it made me cry. I literally cried out loud because that should not be our approach as mental health parents. I mean, our focus as parents really should be, how do we raise happy, well-adjusted kids who are comfortable in their own skin and wake up every day happy to be alive, and not have the focus be so much on how they're performing on their report card or on their standardized testing. No, our first goal should not be for them to be able to sit and focus in school. It should be to reduce their anxiety, make them happy, make them comfortable in their own skin. And it made me so sad that a majority of parents that we saw were not doing that. I mean, I would rather, as a mental health mom, have my kids get their GED when they're 25, work a minimum wage job their whole life, and, live at home forever, than to know that I had put so much pressure on them that they were silently suffering to keep up with little Johnny Jones who sits next to them in class. I would never want to do that to my kids. And I don't think any of us would do it intentionally, but I think a lot of us are doing it subconsciously. And so I just wanted to get real in this Candid Convo and try and, challenge everybody to think about that. I say the word challenge because I really do urge, I challenge all of you as this new academic year begins to figure out how we can better support our kids with mental health disorders. And that could come in a variety of fashions. It may be that you fight harder for 504 or IEP accommodations so they don't have homework, or they sit closer to the teacher, or they're given longer time to take tests. It might be something like that. Fight for more time for a paraprofessional to sit with them in class and help them with their work. It might be to establish a better relationship with their teacher, vow to establish a relationship with their teacher where, you're their BFF. They want to reach out and let you know what's going on. They want to work with you as a team to help improve your child's academic situation and culture and experience. If you think about it, their teacher spends more awake time with your children than you do. If you add up the hours, the awake hours in the morning and at night and on the weekends, their teacher spends more time with them than we do. And yet oftentimes I think we silently resent the teachers because they can't get through to our kids when that's not their fault. We really need to establish better relationships, make them become your BFFs so that you can work together as a more unified front to help your child. We need to learn as parents to reward effort and not grades. I know when my kids were in public school, they would come home and say, so-and-so got $100 for their report card, or $20 for this, or $20 for that A. And I hear so many parents that reward grades, and for our kids, it's not about the grade. It's about, are they trying their best at the place that they're in? Are they pushing themselves as far as they can possibly go? And if that results in a C or a D or even an F, we should be rewarding that effort to do their best and not the grade itself. There may be charter schools in your area that you can look into that have smaller class sizes that can offer more one-on-one attention and a more structured curriculum to your child's needs and interests. Or you might need to homeschool. I said in the beginning, I did not start out feeling led to homeschool. Many do. And I've been very blessed to have the experience to have a part in my children's education, but I never felt led to it in the beginning. A lot of people have said to me, I just don't know how you do it, Dawn. I mean, honestly, I just don't think I could be with my kids all day and teach them and then be their mom at night and all of that. You know what? I didn't know how I could do it either, but I did it. You just do because you have to, because this is my normal. Right now, my kids can't be in the public school system. So I just do it. It's like, You hear these stories of people that pull up on a car crash and they're able to get super strength and lift the bumper of the car to get somebody out. And you go, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you did that. People say that to me all the time. And I just do. I just do it because I love my kids and I want them to succeed. I want them to be the best that they can be in the place that they're in this moment today. And for us, homeschool equals flexibility. We have neurofeedback 3 times a week, behavioral vision therapy once a week, chiropractor once a week. They see their psychologist, as they call their talking therapist, once every other week. We go to karate. So we have a lot of appointments that would be very difficult for us to manage if we were in public school. So for us, it equals flexibility. But more importantly than the appointments, it also gives me as their teacher the flexibility to adjust their curriculum however I see fit to best help them. This year looks totally different than the other years I've homeschooled because of what they're going through and what the doctors have told me. So I'm having to take a completely different approach. But you know what? I can do that because I homeschool and I have that flexibility. And I think what's going to happen for us is this first semester is going to go very slow and we're going to be very behind going into the break after Christmas. And then I think we will have had enough neurofeedback sessions, and my youngest son have had enough visual processing therapy where the second half of the year, hopefully we're going to be able to go like gangbusters and catch up and be where we should be at the end of the grade. And if not, that's okay, because it really just doesn't matter. I need to be I feel the pressure because of what they're going through, and I'm constantly worried that I'm going to fail this year because it's a tough situation to be in. But I know deep down that I cannot fail my kids if I am putting their emotional needs, their mental health above academics. And that's what I'm doing. And I think we all need to start off this new academic year in that mindset, that we have to put our kids' emotional needs and mental health above their academics. I'm not saying academics are not important. I'm not saying we don't want to push them to strive to be their best. Of course we do, but it can't be our number one priority. Our life cannot revolve around keeping up with the Joneses. Just can't. So I hope maybe this video will help give you some fresh ideas, or even just, cause you to stop and think about how we are dealing with our kids as this new academic year starts. That's my goal today. I hope that by getting real with our experience in this Candid Convo, that it will help others. Speaking of helping others, we got lots of good things going on in the hopper. If you haven't seen, go to my Facebook page, Mental Health Mom. We've got an article that was just posted about our story and what's going on by a fabulous reporter with Patch News. I've also launched a new website, which really I'm just sort of changing the name and I'm getting ready to change the format. But the new website is www.mentalhealthmom.life. So .life, not .com. Mentalhealthmom.life. So I encourage you to check that out. We're still on track to be on Great Day Houston sometime in September. We'll keep you posted with the dates. And we've got some other things coming down the pipe as well. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for listening. I hope today was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful week and a great academic year. Until we talk again, take care. Bye-bye.